Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network. And we have another edition of The Real and the Rare. My name is Scott Morganroth, the Motor City Mad Mouth, along with my co-host Xavier McKnight. Xavier McKnight, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great, Scott. Of course, we're always ready to have a great time here on The Real and the Rare. We hope everybody's ready for what we're dishing out in the kitchen. But we hope you all are sitting down, you have some popcorn, you have a beverage, and you're ready to kick back and laugh as well. This is going to be a very entertaining show.
Now, all I had tonight for dinner, buddy, was just a 2-egg omelet, but because I need to make sure the LBS don't get out of control. But you know what? Take your popcorn, Xavier tells you to do, because we are going to have a Colonel cooking time. So, all right, with that said, all right, let's lead off with Veterans Day. I know we didn't have an opportunity to allude to it on Monday night, but we're going to do it now, aren't we, Xavier?
Yes. Let me begin simply just by saying a happy belated Veterans Day to all of our veterans past and present. We did not intentionally forget to do this on Monday. There was a lot going on. We had a lot of heavy-hitting action, but we want you guys just to know that you are not forgotten and you are very much appreciated, not only on Veterans Day, not only on what I believe should honestly be Veterans Week, but every single day of the year. You all provide a service for us. You sacrifice so much for us, for your families, for our country, and we owe you a debt in gratitude that we will never be able to repay you. So on this day, on the previous Veterans Day, and on every single day, we simply say thank you for your service, and we thank you for your sacrifice, and USA. That's the best way I can put that.
Yeah, ditto. I couldn't have said any better, so I'll go ahead and say, you know what, for all the veterans that we've gone out there, and, you know, I'm sure you probably had family members a lot of times that that have served in the military. I can tell you right now that my dad served over at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and I had an Uncle Bob that was involved, and my Uncle Jerry was down in Arkansas. So I don't care what part of the military branch that you are. To me, we are so proud of everything that you stand for. We can't give our thanks enough. I think one of my best Veterans Day moments, though, Xavier, was many years ago when the Detroit Lions faced the San Diego Chargers on Veterans Day. And I happened to be out in Vegas, but I took a side trip out to San Diego. And what an experience it was on a Monday Night Football to be able to go out there and experience such an incredible town. And you know what's so interesting about anything to do with veterans in the NFL is if you go to a military town like a San Diego, like I did see with the Lions and the Chargers, and at that time Bobby Ross was a coach of the Chargers, and he eventually became coach of the Lions. And my wife Candy and I had an opportunity to go out there and see the Packers take on the Jaguars on 9/11. You know, and it's just amazing, you know, when you go to these military towns, how special it is, let alone in any town. And it also makes you appreciate the Army-Navy football game, which happens to be on my bucket list one day, to go see these individuals battle on the football field as well as off the field as well. And while we're talking a little bit of military, I will say kudos to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, in a sense where he's allowing a lot of these guys from the military academies to play sports before having to wait the 4 years to do it. And we'll see when that gets done. But more power to the president, not turning this into a political thing, only connecting the dots with the Veterans Day theme. So once again, on behalf of Xavier McKnight and I, a belated but not forget Veterans Day for us. Anything you want to add to that, buddy?
So, Scott, I wrote up, well, I didn't write this up. We had a national story that was sent to us at ABC7 in Sarasota through our corporate company, Great Television, on yesterday. And it was in regards to Veterans Day as well. And there was a particular veteran, I can't remember exactly where he was from, what state he was from. I know he wasn't from Florida. But he wrote up a letter saying that he wanted someone to have lunch with him on Veterans Day. And he simply was saying that he did not have a car, but it would be his treat. And someone actually answered the call and went to lunch with this veteran. And I just thought that was a very cool moment, and I'm very hopeful that we'll continue to see more moments like this in the future.
I hope so too. Anytime you can recognize the military, it's a beautiful thing. So with that said, okay, let's talk about the business at hand. Take it away, Xavier.
Well, I saw this very interesting video yesterday from ABC World News about people talking about their least favorite Thanksgiving dishes. And it actually caught me by surprise, Scott. I was expecting to see things like maybe sweet potato casserole or green bean casserole or some unusual foods for Thanksgiving that some people have that others may not. But the list of foods that I started to see were turkey was on the list. There was ham that was on the list. Mashed potatoes were on the list. Macaroni and cheese was on the list. And I'm just like, well, what exactly is your ideal type of favorite meals that you like to have for Thanksgiving then, or your favorite dishes and food items? Because these are some of the main courses that go into what we believe is a traditional Thanksgiving here in America. The mashed potatoes, the green beans, the turkey, the stuffing, all of the different vegetables. And these are some of your most favorite foods here. I need some help on this one here because there wasn't an explanation on what their favorite foods were. But for these things to be some of your least favorite foods for Thanksgiving, it kind of threw me for a loop. It really caught me by surprise. I'm like, I was expecting to see things like squash casserole and things like that people may not necessarily love to eat, but some people will include on their Thanksgiving menu on things like that. Not mashed potatoes and turkey and stuffing. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, hate to be a party pooper, Xavier. I don't have a least favorite dish. I don't. I think they're all good. I can't help you there.
And I definitely agree with you on that. I don't really have a least favorite dish either. Now, I will say that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of anything that has squash in it. Squash has not grown on me yet as a vegetable, but I know that one day it will, because one day, tomatoes used to not be a favorite thing of mine. Now I can't have salads and sandwiches without tomatoes. I used to not eat sweet potatoes. Now I absolutely love sweet potato pies and sweet potato casseroles and anything that has sweet potatoes in them, sweet potato fries. So I know that squash is eventually going to make its way there too, but I'm with you on this one. I mean, Thanksgiving is not a day I'm sitting here looking at the food items and going, all right, let me point out the things that I don't want to eat right now so I can eliminate that. No, that's not the day of the year I'm doing that. It's just not.
Oh, well, I hate to tell you, buddy, I don't have a least favorite dish. I don't. Now, if you're going to ask me, so where are we going with it? I don't have a least favorite. I love them all.
I mainly love them all too, but here's what I will say. For some reason over the past few years, I would actually much rather prefer to have Cornish game hen over turkey at times. And that's the way it's been for me at the past few Thanksgivings. Don't get me wrong, Scott, and I believe that there are reasons for this. For one thing, turkey is the main deli meat that I eat on my sandwiches anyway on a day-to-day basis on many days throughout the year. I put it in my salads, my sandwiches, everything. As a matter of fact, I had a salad today that I made for lunch, and you guessed it, turkey was the meat that was put in that salad. So maybe by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, I'm all turkeyed out, even though there is a huge difference between deli turkeys and fresh roasted or fresh fried turkeys. I know that there's a difference there. But either way, it's turkey, and maybe I'm all turkeyed out. But the Cornish game hen has really grown on me.
Well, I mean, when you talk about turkey, I go to Subway and have it all the time. That's one of my favorite subs. And I like Subway. That's one of the reasons I've lost a few pounds. But, I don't think I'll ever get turkeyed out. Now, if you're asking me for my most favorite dishes, too many to tell you, but I guess I could at least give you a little something there about some of the ones I really do like. How do you not like cranberry, sauce? I mean, I love cranberry. I love the stuffing. The turkey's great. Of course, if I cook it, it's another story. I'll get into that in a little bit. But those are some of the main ones. I can pretty much eat anything. Favorite dishes, I love them all. Don't have any bad
Scott,
ones.
you opened that up by saying cranberry sauce, and that made me think a little.
Oh, did it?
I don't dislike cranberry sauce, but it is one of the things that I'll look at and go, I don't necessarily have to have that. Now, it's grown on me a little more over the past few years, but it's still been slowly. And it's not necessarily on Thanksgiving either. It's on other days like New Year's Day and Easter and days like that where cranberry sauce may be served throughout the meal too. But I don't dislike it. Especially when it's a homemade cranberry sauce, I'm willing to give it a shot. But it's something that I look at and I go, I don't have to necessarily have this with my turkey and my dressing. Now, Scott, I will say this right now, and I know that a lot of our listeners probably are going to look at this crazy, or they're going to have some type of funny facial expression with what I'm about to say. I would actually prefer on Thanksgiving to have some good homemade potato salad over good homemade macaroni and cheese. That's just my preference. That's just how I feel about that. Now, I like macaroni and cheese, but I don't love it to the point that I love potato salad.
Okay. We have leftovers. I'll have one day and one the other.
Well, I will agree with you on that. If there are leftovers, I'll take it. But if I have my preference, I would rather have the potato salad over the macaroni and cheese. Just simply because I'm not really also a huge cheese person either. Now, I know macaroni and cheese is one of the main dishes that you have for Thanksgiving, and I'm not saying that I don't eat macaroni and cheese on Thanksgiving. What I am saying, though, is that you will find me having a lot more of potato salad on my plates as opposed to the macaroni and cheese. That's just the way it is with me. Like what I just said with the Cornish game hen.
Right.
Now, that can only go so far because those are some small birds, and they're almost portable. It's like they're your own personal little bird that you can have, that you can just simply have to yourself, that you don't necessarily have to share with everyone else. Now, that's not the reason I like them so much. There's a particular way that my mom cooks those Cornish game hens, and she showed me how to cook them a couple of years ago, just simply with a good broth and a celery stock, and it's just a really tasty thing. And, I love the turkey too, but the Cornish game hen and the potato salad, those are the two main dishes that I usually make sure that I have on Thanksgiving. Now, we haven't touched on the desserts yet because I think I already kind of gave a snippet of that, but I'm gonna get further into that as well. But I know you said that you don't usually have any favorite dishes on Thanksgiving, but can you give us some of your main courses?
Oh yeah, stuffing, my man. Stuffing, gotta have it. Oh yeah. Now, there's only one way that you can't have stuffing. You know how that is? Okay?
How is that?
If you're dumb enough like myself and my one of my best friends out in Kansas City, and you broil the turkey, then you know what happens with that butter ball or butter bean or whatever you call that thing? You can shoot baskets with that bird, brother. I'm telling you. We were getting some opinions, Xavier, one day on how to do this thing. I guess we got the wrong one, and we decided to broil it. So it's safe to say at my friend's wedding that when we talked about it, I said, well, Stuart, at least the one thing we never had to worry about is we never had leftovers on the Thanksgiving we had out in Kansas City because, we were lucky to be able to dribble that bird and shoot hoops with it. So